I've generated more than $50,000 in the past 2 years. Less than 1,000 subscribers. Without being a social media sensation, you don't have to have 1 million followers, and your life can massively improve. We're going to be touching on steps, on actionable steps that every presenter can do right now, and they can see benefits in a very short term.
Okay, so first of all, welcome to Presenter Academy. We are talking today to Stefanos. Stefanos is actually one of our students who came with us like ages ago. It must have been, what, 5 years? Must be more than that.
4 years, I think. Yeah, 4 years, 2019, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's been a while. Good to see you, Brian.
But it's great to see you as well. You've gone on to do bigger and better things after that particular course. And now you're working, which is just, I have to say, it's just exploded in terms of, necessity to be involved in this, which is all the socials, all the online content creation. It's great for people wanting to be presenters because, of course, having that exposure, having stuff readily available for people to see. You could be an on-screen expert, but you can also, I guess, make money online as well if you get your own little niche. And that's what we are lucky enough to have expert in this field, Stefanos, to help us out with all that. But first of all, we've just mentioned that you did come on one of our courses, but how have you got to this area of being this guru in content creating and the secrets involved in it?
Absolutely. So it all started many years ago when I was in university still, and I always knew that I really liked YouTube. It was a way to express, I was always seeing these people on TV, and it seemed so far away, being a presenter like you and what you're teaching. It always seemed so far away. And suddenly I realized that with YouTube and social media, this is closed. I can do it in my room, and maybe I can have success through that. Maybe I can use that, the thing that I will record, and show it to someone like you, Brian, and say, hey, can I be in your podcast? Can I work with you? So that blew my mind back on the day. So I started making videos, that is, I think 7-8 years ago. And eventually I came in London and I took the course as a presenter. But then, as we all know, many things happen, pandemic, stuff.
Yeah, it was the little things like that.
Little things that happen that we will be telling our grandchildren one day. The thing is that through the pandemic, there was a huge need for courses. People were selling courses. Everybody was locked inside and they had some spare time, so they wanted to learn things. And eventually, with my knowledge in social media, having worked in many different productions up until that point, the knowledge I got from your course, from the Presenter Academy, I was able to land a job with NAS Daily at the NAS Academy, where for the past 3 years, I've taught thousands of students how to make videos online. Now, at some point, I was also part of the curriculum development team. So we were talking with big names like Ming Wei, who was one of the biggest TikTokers in Southeast Asia, with Project Nightfall, with Smile Squad, big names, big social media accounts, and we're creating content with them. So I was always inside this industry. I was always talking with people and asking them, how did you do it? Why are you on Facebook? How did you do it on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube? In the end, after collecting a lot of samples from all these people, and after teaching thousands of people, I realized that there are common, let me call them umbrella problems when it comes to social media. Yes, you might want to become famous on YouTube, or you might want to become famous on Instagram, but in reality, the problems are kind of similar. And if you tackle them in the root, then there are small changes that you need to do based on the strategy of a YouTube channel or an Instagram channel. Mm-hmm. So eventually, I interviewed a lot of creators. I interviewed more than 50 creators, huge interviews, tried to gather their pain points, what they needed. And then I got all the knowledge I acquired when I was developing curriculum with all these people. And I created the Successful Content Creator, which is a program that helps content creators and people using social media to reach their goals. Because the biggest misconception, and this is where I think it's the most important bit, is that you can be on social media without being a social media sensation. You don't have to have 1 million followers, and your life can massively improve. What does massively improve mean? I don't know. What do you want? Do you want to earn more money? Do you want to have more free time? Do you want to express and voice out your opinions and have a community of people to listen to you? Social media can do all that. and
Mhm.
none of them is correlated with the number of followers that you have.
Okay, okay, but let's start. Right at the beginning. Then, I mean, you've already mentioned that there are some umbrella problems, which we'll touch on those. But to start off, then, just as you've described, have a have a target, have a goal, know what it is you're aiming for before you go for it. That's true in a lot of things. But where do you start? For the first thing, what platform would you go for? What and then once you've decided on a platform, what do you do to start?
Yeah, that's a very good. I mean, let's do this throughout this discussion. We're going to be touching on steps, on actionable steps that every presenter can do right now, and they can see benefits in a very short term. So the first question is obviously where and how. Now, I know that there are some rules, and possibly all the people listening, they know that on TikTok you can go viral. On YouTube, if you do long form content, that takes time and it's a little bit harder. But I think that's not important. What's important is to understand the platform. And in order to understand the platform, you must use it. It's as simple as that. And this is something that I got from a training from Daryl Eves. Daryl Eves is one of the big names in the YouTube industry. And he said something between the lines of, I have clients that come to me and they tell me, I heard it's a great idea to build a YouTube channel. And then Daryl would ask them, all right, who's your favorite YouTuber? And they say, nah, I don't watch YouTube. Like, how are you going to jump into this medium if you don't know what's going on, if you don't speak the language? So though there are some rules in social media, the best advice here is to jump on the medium that you enjoy consuming the most. And it's as simple as that, because there are small things that you can talk about. There's small memes, or the way you present yourself, and you are not able to really learn this unless you are an active user on that platform. And it's as simple as that.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how can you leverage TikTok as a presenter, as a professional presenter, if it is just similar people like you, in as much as they are other performers, young people? How do you actually leverage that platform to use in your career?
So if we were to talk specifically about TikTok, I'm going to give you some facts about TikTok. The viewer does not cost a lot on TikTok because it's easy to get a follow. So it doesn't have the same gravity. But I'm going to ask you a question, Brian. Let's say that you are about to launch a show, there's a production, and that you have been asked to dive into your pool of presenters and fetch someone from your pool. What would be more appealing if I send you an email saying, hey, Brian, remember me? I've been doing great. Here is my reel. Or, hey, Brian, by the way, I have 1 million followers on TikTok. I have 1 million views on TikTok. I've exploded. Which one would you immediately start paying attention to?
Well, yeah, the million views on TikTok.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say here is that I wouldn't use TikTok as a way to generate money, because that's not the value of TikTok, but it's proof of concept. It's proof of your ability to stay in front of the camera and talk. And I remember something.
As a performer, as a presenter, to be
Exactly.
able to say, look, to any producer, look, I've already got, and it doesn't have to be 1 million. It can be, 50,000 views or 100,000, whatever. That has value in itself, because, well, if people are watching what you're doing, that's an interest to me as a producer for television or anything else. I get it. Yeah.
And it's something that actually, Brian, you taught me. I remember when we were in the class, you told us, go on social media. And somebody said, so you want us to be content creators? Back then, it was still, TikTok wasn't a thing. And you told us, no, this is the first thing that the producer would check to make sure that you are working, that you're not lazy, that you're not sitting doing a full-time job and then on your free time, you're a presenter. If you post every day something, then that's proof of your hard work. So this is practically what you told me, and I bet to other people as well, right? So that's that.
Interesting. Okay, so we've got the platform. You're using the platform that you actually watch, and this is good advice because you're probably familiar with that platform as a result of using it anyway. What do you put up? What, you know, if you are going to do it, let's say you're going to do it twice a week, even if it is a short 30-seconder or something like that, how do you find the ideas? Where do you start with? You know, I've heard this thing niche being thrown around. I get that subject matter or whatever where do you start?
So that is a very interesting point, and that's the pain point of most people. You need to understand the thing. I'm not here to tell you that the market is not saturated. I'm not here to tell you that we haven't seen every part of the planet through travel vloggers, that probably even you, Brian, you haven't decided on your favorite comedian. So when you have 1 hour to watch or 30 minutes to watch, probably you're going to go to the channels that you already follow. And it's very hard to penetrate that and be able to see new creators. But I'm going to tell you this. The way the algorithm works right now, we are in the era of recommendation media. So followers don't matter that much because people are going on For You pages. Instagram has a For You page. TikTok has a For You page. YouTube now has a very good algorithm and makes sure that every time you see the channels that you follow, it will recommend a smaller channel on a similar niche. So your video will stand out. Now, what do you talk about? Well, this is where you need to do a little bit of self-work. And this is one of the umbrella problems that I was mentioning. The problem is not that people don't have great ideas. The problem is that they don't want to focus. They see the end result. They see Mr. Beast. They see Charlie D'Amelio. And they're like, I want that. I want to be waking up and just doing whatever comes to mind and having billions of people celebrating what I did. But they all started by targeting something very specific. How did you find that? Well, I guess it all comes down to self-search. What I did and how I found my niche and how I decided that, you know what, I will do social media because I know it. I like talking about it. I sat down with a piece of paper and I started writing down, what am I good at? Anything that comes to mind. I wrote that I'm good at capoeira, doing martial arts. But of course, I'm not going to make a martial arts channel, but write down everything. At this stage, I don't want you to be judging. I want to vomit whatever is in your brain on a piece of paper. What am I good at? Second question would be, what am I passionate about? What am I passionately talk about? And then you're trying to find these two things and combine them. See, I'm good at social media and I like talking about social media. I also like talking to people. I'm not afraid of camera. So, you know, things started appearing, like something started coming out. But then another problem rose. I was like, okay, let's talk about social media. And I tried to do some content like the ones that probably if you follow some coaches, you know, that they sit in front of the camera and they go like, these are 3 things to do if you just start your channel. And I would give
I've done
advice.
some things like that for presenters.
But the thing is that nobody knew me. So even though the advice is good, nobody knew me and I wasn't standing out. So then the third question comes in. How can I stand out? A famous creator, you, Brian, that you have all this experience and you have your audience, you can do that because people, when they see you, they're like, Brian, let me hear what he has to say. For me to just do that, it's okay, can't work, but I need to stand out. And then comedy came along. And I thought to myself, well, I like comedy, so how about I do social media consulting using comedy, being funny? And then eventually I wrote down in a piece of paper, I want to be the funny guy of social media. That's it. That's very unique. And that's how you find your niche. By the way, this is a process that took months. I don't want to pretend that I just sat down 30 minutes and I found my niche. But it was through this process of trying to see what I'm good at, what I would like to talk about, what I can infuse passion to others about. And eventually that came up. And that's how you find what you want to talk about. Just because you are good at gardening, that doesn't mean that you want to build a gardening channel, right?
Yeah.
So you find what you want to talk about, and you find how can you be unique? What makes you a little bit different?
It's kind of like your unique twist on whatever the subject matter is. Why am I going to watch you instead of the 8 other videos that pop up on the same subject? You know, if I've seen you before, what's going to bring me back to watching you? And yeah, that's an interesting one. Your one was comedy, but I guess it doesn't have to be comedy. It could be,
No,
I don't
no.
know.
I mean, there was a girl who was telling the news, newscaster.
Yeah.
That's her job, and she's doing it while she's applying makeup. So that was kind
Ah.
of quirky, kind of funny, but
Yeah.
it wasn't comedy. She was just starting the video, like applying makeup. There, I'm going to show you how to have amazing eyelashes. And while I'm doing this, let me tell you what's happening right now in China. Let me tell you what's happening in the world. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That is an interesting twist in
Yeah.
something that everybody's doing.
That people will remember as well. Stefano, I just have to say, look how red my face is compared to yours. It looks like I've been in the sun all day. I don't know what. I think it must be something to do with the cameras. It looks like I'm glowing red.
This is
here.
ridiculous. You're in the UK. There is no sun.
I know. Funnily enough, today we've got a little bit. So, okay, so to start this whole thing off then, it seems that there's a lot of research. There's a lot of preparation in looking at your knowledge base, your interests, your passions, your twist, how you are going to make reading the news different, or whatever it might be that you're doing. That's step one then, and I'm sure that's something you can help people with, because that's a big process and it's all part of getting going. Let's say we've got that. And we've decided on the platform. What do we do now? Because there's certain things that I'm aware of, but I'm by no means an expert about posting, the regularity of it, the length of videos, the algorithms that you need to try and keep happy so that you're always up there in the engine searches and goodness knows what. Oh, help us out, Stefano. Where do we start?
We start by relaxing. Whatever you said is true, is absolutely true. And that's the secret. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. There's no way to answer all these questions. So when I was trying to figure out what the hell is going on, I took a more top-down approach. And I said, fine. The algorithm can be complicated. You need to be on top of it, post, repost, share, make sure, so much, it's crazy. So I started the other way around. And I asked my students a question. I asked them, how much time do you have? How much time are you willing to spend on your social media presence? And that creates a different approach, because instead of chasing something so elusive as a machine which changes every second, we started by, all right, what's your life right now? And many people have full-time jobs, but they really enjoy making videos. So they said, you know what, I'm going to do it 3 times in the afternoons. And other people have more free time. They're freelancers, so they have 1 or 2 a couple of days. So I'm like, all right, let's see now what we can do in this time. And this helped me a lot, because while I was living in London, I burned out twice. I can remember 2 times during my time spent in London that I stood out of the bed and just fell down again. It was a disaster, Brian. I just fell down, and then my mouth was full of blisters. I was exhausted, trying to post consistently, and it's insane. It just burns you down. There's no way to keep up. But when I thought the other way around, and I said, how much time do I have? That amount of time. And I tried to make the best out of that time, I start seeing results. Because in reality, I think if you remember, Brian, when I was there, I told you that I love green screen. I love a good studio. That's my thing. Even though I'm on social media, I would much rather be on a studio with a camera person coming, with lights on my face and everything. I love this. This is my thing. But since I cannot do that, I tried to set up a studio, but that was so time consuming to set up the green screen and the lights. So I said, all right, this is not realistic. So I started by saying, in this amount of time that I have, what can I do? And this is how the show adapted in my time. And when the show adapted in my time, then I said, all right, how many episodes, how many things can I post through this time, in this time slot? And I realized that it's 1 per week, and once per week is not very good. It's not very good. So I said, all right, I need to find a time in this time limit to post a little more.
Yeah.
So I changed my scripting process in order to be able to segment that long form content and put it on shorts.
I get you.
So in reality, if you want to become a TikTok sensation, yeah, post every day, at least every day. That's a fact. I'm sorry. If you want to do that, that's how it's going to be. But if you want to build a sustainable presence and just slowly grow and be okay, then we need to identify how much time you have, build something in that amount of time that you have, and we will find ways to leverage that, to extract more and more content. For example, let me tell you my strategy right now. So I'm making one long form video for YouTube per week. That long form video can produce 2 to 3 shorts. And I'm not posting yet on TikTok. I'm saving all the shorts. And when I have a good chunk of 30 shorts, then I'm going to throw them on TikTok every single day. So you need patience and you need strategy. Because if you just go online and you type, how often do I need to post? You're going to see people who give good advice. Yeah, you need to be posting every day. One story, then a second story on IG, then a reel, then the next day a carousel. What if you don't have this time? So we start the other way around. We figure out how much time you have. We create a schedule and we build a strategy based on your abilities. And it's working because it's consistent. And these people usually talk about views and growth and going viral, and let's maximize your chance to go viral. And what will happen after you go viral? Can you sustain that?
Yeah, sure. So really a bit of a slower sort of build up than just trying to hit with one mega video and hope for the best, but a planned build, a gradual build of your platform, and then that's maintainable, that's sustainable. With the actual posting of videos, each platform is different, but are there some basic do's and don'ts that you would sort of just, I mean, I know this is just an overview, but are there some do's and don'ts that you would say, look, these are never do this and always do this?
Yeah. So as a presenter, you really need to understand that your personality is the most important thing. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. If you start with long intros, people will just skip. Nobody cares about you at this stage. And I know that this is hard to swallow, but I mean, if I was on TikTok right now and I had my phone and that's how fast I choose to not watch your video.
Yeah.
So it needs to start. You have 3 seconds. It needs to be fast. You need to tell me immediately what I'm about to watch. You need to start with a fancy edit or saying something controversial, something that will attract my attention. Put yourselves in the shoes of the viewer just for 1 second and ask yourself, if I was there and I was scrolling up and down, what will attract my attention? One exercise that I do is I go on TikTok or on Instagram and I just start scrolling. I blank out my brain, I just try to not think, and I scroll. And when I stop somewhere, I watch that reel again, that TikTok again, to see what attracted my attention. And I take a note. This one had loud music, if you're listening on not on mute. This one had a big text which said something that with a question, and my brain started thinking of the answer. So it was too late. I already was thinking of the answer and the video starts playing. So now I'm hooked in. So there is no time to introduce yourself. There is no time to say things, logo of your channel. Just tell me what I'm about to watch. That's it. This is the attention industry. That's it. Where you are fighting for attention. That's all.
So you start a video basically with what we would call in TV presenting with a hook. It's kind of like you're getting them in TV. Of course, what we'd say is coming up in the show, we're going to do these exciting things, blah 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 blah. But it's different on video, on socials in as much as you're not introducing the video, although you might be, I guess. But it is an attention grabber, isn't it? It is a hook. Do they call that clickbait, or is that something else?
So clickbait had to do more with the image and the title, and it was more in the YouTube era. And clickbait, as a matter of fact, was used as the bad thing, but it's not a bad thing. It's just that there is bad clickbait, which is straight up lying about the content.
Yeah.
With clickbait. And that the reason, just very quickly, that was happening is because of the algorithm. There was a time that you could abuse the YouTube algorithm. And at that time, it was clicks. So if you could bait someone to click on the video, your video would rank higher. Eventually,
see.
YouTube, back in 2015, I think they realized that this is not a good way to measure the value of the video, and they changed it. But this is a term we used back then.
Yeah. So if somebody, let's say somebody like me came along to your course and you were going to work with me. Now I've got a half decent following on YouTube. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's half decent or not. I think there's about 8.5, 9,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I don't know how many on TikTok. Not many. Instagram, I don't know. Couldn't tell you really. I don't really do very much on that stuff. What would you say to somebody like me? Would you say, right, just focus and keep your YouTube going, or it's time to go and really focus on Instagram? Or is it a combination of all of the things? You've got to be posting out on all of them.
Now that's the most amazing bit. I wouldn't say any of this because I don't think any of this is important. That's the issue. The issue with many coaches is that they focus on one channel and tell you how to grow that channel, and you will grow it because it's very good advice. But my question then still remains the same. Are you sure 3 years down the line that this is what you want to be doing? And do you have a plan on how to leverage everything you're going to succeed 3 years down the line? So what I would do is, first of all, we said, what is your favorite platform? So I would start with that. Then I would tell you to let's focus on what you are good at and what you like talking about and what makes you unique. Step number 2. Step number 3, we would figure out your schedule and you will tell me how much time you're willing to invest. And now here is the best part. This is the 4th part, and this is where the magic happens. We would set goals for your channel. And again, this is something that in a way you taught me, Brian, because the immediate thought of all the people, and I bet everybody looking right now, watching this podcast right now, is that I want to grow. I want to have more followers because more followers will bring a brand deal, or I will be able to send a message to Brian. Hey, Brian, I have 100,000 views. So, I'm good. Give me a job. But that's not it. The question is, what do you want to achieve through your social media presence? And why did I learn that from you? Because as you told us back then, you don't build your YouTube channel to become a YouTube sensation. You grow your YouTube channel as proof of work and to exercise, to keep on exercising. I used my YouTube channel for something extra. I was earning my money by being a video editor. So that was the proof that I can edit. This is what I was sending to people, telling, hey, this is my editing skills. How about we work? So I started earning money when I had, that was my new channel, at 200 subscribers, and I was earning money. So then the question would be, you have 8,500 followers. This is phenomenal. I bet there are at least 50 people who are ready to buy your product. So I would start thinking backwards. I would ask you, you can spend this amount of time on social media. What do you hope to achieve? Are you doing this because you enjoy making videos and you just want to make a video, wake up in the morning, make a video and get the AdSense and everything? Are you doing it because you're trying to sell your course? Are you doing it because you want to package that and send it to a producer? What is the end goal? Because I feel, Brian, and tell me if I'm wrong, I feel that it's the same issue we had in the 2000s with websites. Everybody needed a website, but why? So right now, everybody needs social media presence, but why? So this is the question that most people don't ask. So when you figure out the why, then we work on creating a strategy that will allow you to do this. Honestly, right now, Brian, my channel stands at less than 1,000 subscribers. With that channel, only with that channel, not my bachelor degree, not friends that gave me work, nothing. With my knowledge, the knowledge and the content that accumulated through that channel, I've generated more than $50,000 in the past 2 years. Less than 1,000 subscribers. Because I know the reason why I'm doing that. And I explain the story and everything. There's a free guide, which I'm going to share with everyone watching. And I explain the 9 steps I took to make that happen. And there are steps that you can do right now. Now. That's it.
Sure.
So you set the goal, right?
So it would be interesting to see how, with 1,000 subscribers or followers or something, you're making really good amount of money. So that's that's something that we can find out from you in off your channel, off your training as well. You've got a website, haven't you?
Yes, the website is the Successful Content Creator. So it's very easy to remember, successfulcontentcreator.com. This is what you want to become. And as a successful content creator, you can be a presenter, you can have your own e-shop. There are many things that you can do. So I want to get this out of the head of everyone. Content creator doesn't mean travel vlogger, doesn't mean lifestyle TikToker. It means that you're creating content, and content is part of your marketing strategy to achieve the results that you want in your life. So the free guide, you can get it. You can go to the website, The Successful Content Creator, or you can go to successfulcontentcreator/SCC guide. That's it.
Okay.
It's for free.
I'll put some links in the description below, so anybody can just go down and have a look and click and go along. You mentioned, excuse me, I'm just going to lean over here. You mentioned what they call it, merchandise. Oh, hello. What's that?
Hello there. What's that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Presenting for, that's probably mirrored, is it? That's the wrong way around. But presenting for TV and screen, written by Brian Naylor, available on Amazon. Link below. That's the sort of thing you're talking about, isn't it? I mean,
you should. I mean, that's the thing. The people watching this, probably they're very much interested in what you have to say. And I want everybody to remember that there is no space in social media without merch. One of the biggest channels, let me give this fact, was amazing. There was a video released 1 month ago from Kurzgesagt. Kurzgesagt is one of the biggest channels, educational channels on YouTube right now. 20 million followers. Every video is capping like 15, 20 million views. It's insane. So Kurzgesagt did a breakdown of their income. They are working with foundations, they're getting money from big organizations, but 45% of their income is merchandise.
Right. That's a huge amount, isn't it?
It's a huge amount. And because they really spend time to develop merch that the people who are watching, the fans, are interested in. It's not mugs and t-shirts.
Yeah.
There are calendars with information. There are toys, science toys, so things people care about. So if you want to become a presenter and you taking class from Brian, well, of course you want everything that Brian has to offer because you trust him, you know him, you've worked with him.
Listen, I've got some old t-shirts that I hardly ever wear. And just make me an offer. Put it in the description below. Put it in the comments and just let me know what you want. I've got t-shirts, old trainers. I've got an old mug that I don't use as well. If you want it, make an offer. We'll arrange something. I think there's better ways of doing merch than that, isn't there?
Well, it's one thing that we say. I've been working with a website provider in Manila. Currently, I'm living in Manila. So he's making websites for Filipino creators. And he told me this, and this is fascinating. He told me that he has creators with more than 1 million followers, and they make 3 times less than creators with 50,000 followers. The only difference is that the creators with 50,000 followers have investigated their audience and they sell good merch. And they promote it every time, not in a bad way, because that's the thing. People think that selling is bad. It's not bad. You just inform the people that there is a store, and if they want to support you, and you have people with millions of followers and they don't generate money. So this comes back to our step number 4. If we haven't set proper goals, you might have 1 million followers, work all the time. Yes, you get recognized on the streets, but your life hasn't gotten much easier, has it? You're still working a lot and not earning enough.
Yeah. So all these secrets, no doubt, you can, if we had more time, you would be able to go through all of these things. And I guess that's what you do when you're working with somebody as well. You are literally looking at their unique situation, their unique goals, and actually using your expertise to craft their journey into this, potentially massive area of, because if you only need sort of 50,000 or 1,000 to make, I mean, I've got 8,500. I should be making it in online, eh? I need to sell a bit more merch or something. Don't forget, if you haven't got that yet, go to Amazon. I think that will do the trick, really.
Absolutely. That's the whole point. The whole point is that every situation is unique. So if somebody wants to work, because my program is 3 months, it takes 3 months to complete. It's quite intense. You go through everything, but that's it. That's everything you need to know. We will not be diving specifically to any platform, but you don't need that. So I have success stories from people work for travel vloggers on Facebook. I have a guy now in Denmark doing who started with 0 followers, and in 3 months he already is being recognized in Denmark on Instagram. I have YouTubers. So it doesn't matter. The strategy, the logic of social media is the same. It's the attention grabbing industry. And when you set proper goals, you will find success.
Yeah. Yeah. And how important, just the last question, Stefano, because
Yes.
I know we've got limited time here. How important would you say that your skills as a presenter need to be to do this? Because I think more than anywhere else on camera, your on-camera work on social media, there's nowhere to hide if there's a performance. There's nowhere to hide if you're not sincere or you're not confident about what you're doing, or you're trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. I just think you're exposed. I'm interested to know what your thoughts are on, if people are going to appear on camera, how important it is to get that right.
Absolutely. It's no secret that people relate to people. So there are channels out there that they use an AI voice and it's only image. But even then, if you are narrating, well, that's presenting. And if you have your face on, then that's amazing, because the people know the person who they're talking to. And one of the reasons that TikTok and Instagram Reels are so popular is because people seem so comfortable in their house. We want it to be a little bit unprofessional, let me call it like that. We want to just sit down and you can see in the background, I have my clothes, or, it's my bed, because that makes people feel that, exactly. That makes people think that, I just wanted to share something and I just stood here and took my phone and I start filming. But in the end, how you're going to present it, your voice tonation, where are you going to look? This is how you connect with people.
Yeah.
And that in the long run will stand out for sure.
So there you go. Listen, if you want presentation skills, I'll leave a link to our courses, Presenter Academy. If you need the strategy and somebody literally to mentor you through to put the ideas together, to design what you're going to achieve, what you're looking to achieve, and then implement and go who knows where, then nowhere better than successfulcontentcreator.com. Again, the link will be in the description below. Stefano, look, it's been great talking to you. Don't be a stranger, and hopefully we can do this again sometime. And maybe you can tell us about some more success stories. And
absolutely. If people want to learn more, they can ask for sure, and we can do another one. And I would like, just Brian, very quickly, I would like to give a little something, because I've been in your course. I know what it means to try to be a presenter in London. So I would like to give a 10% discount on my program to everybody who's coming from this podcast. So you can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or on the website, and email me and just send me a message, said, hey, I saw you with Brian. I'd like to know more. I'll give you a 10% discount.
Oh, that's great. There you go. 10% off. Is that on everything and anything on the website?
Yes, everything is on the website. But again, let's meet each other. I'd like to know your thoughts. Even if you don't want to get the program, just introduce yourself. I'll be happy to know what you are doing and what stage are you in your content creation journey.
Nice one. Super. Stefano, thanks again. It's been really good to see you. And we'll be back with more podcasts. I don't know when. I don't do it regularly. I need to talk to Stefano a bit more, because I'm dreadful with this stuff. But we'll be back. So keep an eye on the channel, subscribe and like and all of that stuff. Cheerio for now.
See you.